Joining us this morning from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce, it's Kat Thompson. Hi, Kat. How are you today?
Hi, Luke. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. Good to see you this morning.
You too. I'm glad to be back. We got some sunshine. Things are happening in the community. It's a great time.
Isn't it amazing what a little sunshine can do?
It's incredible. I mean, yeah, and especially where we live, it's so beautiful. We have such an amazing treasure right here in our backyard with the rivers and the trails and the parks and everything. So it just kind of comes alive when the sun's out and everything's green and blossoming.
I had to hit the road last night and just head out of town for a little bit, and my ride was so beautiful. And I'm like, I was just on this road like a couple weeks ago, and it just looks a lot different.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah,
it was wonderful.
yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, you just got to watch out for the critters.
Yes, yes, yes. So when you see sunshine, attitudes change a little bit. There's some excitement. What's crazy is it just seems like it's coming so late that you go, oh my gosh, it's already June.
Yeah, yeah. I was noticing that the other day, thinking, "Wow, everything is so green." But then you look and it's June. It's supposed to be. It should be.
Yes.
But it kind of makes the summer sneak up on you a little bit with all the things that we have going on. And of course, I think we talked about. We have Hannah who started with us. This is her, I think, fourth week. We're in her fourth week of
Wow.
her being here full time at the chamber. But we just dove in. We were at all of the schools multiple times. We had our last batch of senior awards yesterday. We were at West Forest and then Rocky Grove, and those are the last two of our um, Forest Ready and Venango Ready senior awards, where we got to certify and cord the students who have completed that and earned that designation. So we've been traveling all over the region.
Now, as you wrap up the school year like that, what sort of plans go into the summer? Because I would imagine you're still thinking and working on things for the upcoming year.
Absolutely. So right now, Hannah and I are working on an alumni email. We're putting a survey out to all of the students over the past 4 years. So we're up to, I think it's 252 students that are now part of the Venango Ready and Forest Ready Alumni
Wow.
Network. And so what I tell them is the program doesn't stop at graduation. We want to continue to connect with them as they need. Maybe they don't need us, and that's great. But if they do, we're here. We want to help connect them to opportunities and support them through their career journeys. And I always say, whether it's next month, next year, or in 4 years. So as our first kind of group of them, those that went on to 4 year school are starting to get out now. Some of them went directly into the workforce. And as you know, sometimes people make changes. So we want to continue to be that network and that support for them. So we're working on, communications out to all of them to find out how we can best connect with them. So we're doing a survey. We're probably going to start an Instagram account that's targeted towards students and alumni of the program to share what resources are. That's, for me, I'm so far removed from that generation. How do they take information in? And so the great thing about Hannah, she just graduated from college, so she kind of understands that world a little bit more than I do, so can communicate to them in a way that makes sense to them. So we're looking at really figuring out how we can strengthen and build that alumni network now that school's kind of ending for the summer, and looking to figure out how we can better help connect them to the local business community when they need.
So if you get a survey, fill it out, right? Take your time and do it. I feel bad because, you have service work done or something, you buy something and you get these surveys, and I tend to ignore them. But I was talking to a local business who was only like a couple surveys off from winning an award. And
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I didn't help you. So now
yeah.
I recognize when those come, I'm like, I should take time and fill them out.
Yeah, there's a reason, because it's work to put that in. We're sitting there thinking through the questions, and then of course you have to the logistics of it, build it, send it out. So there's reasons why businesses and organizations do that. They're looking for specific information to help make them better, to help make it a better experience for you. And one of the things we're doing, though, we're incentivizing it a little bit. We're not going to ask them to fill that out without a little incentive. So we're going to be giving away. I think we decided 6 gift cards we'll randomly choose out of those that complete the survey. So, we want to make it worth their while. And so that's always a nice perk if somebody can, give something away, not to everybody, obviously, but just give a little bit of a reason to help us out. So we'll be looking to do that. So
well, again, I had a guest last week who said, yeah, you know what? Because of surveys and things that we get back, we've added, in this case, it was a hospital, we added this service, or now we're going to provide this because that's the feedback. It's like, okay, so that's really important. So
So instead of going on Facebook and complaining about something, we can all just fill out surveys, to get our voices heard.
That's right.
That's a better way to do it.
So you have all this planning to do for next year, but on top of that, it's festival season, it's tourism season, and there's so much happening.
There's so much happening. Golf outing is our well, actually, I think we have a chamber mixer coming up before that, and then golf outing after that. We're Flex. So Flex is a program of the chamber, the Young Professionals Group, and so our big event for that is Bike and Brew. So we're helping support the Flex team on that and working to organize that. That's the Saturday before festival. Then we have festival. We have our steak fry. We have cranberry festival we're thinking about as well. So it's a busy time. It's table moving time, as we like to call it here in chamber world. We've got some tables we have to move. So that was one of the things that surprised me the most when I started at the chamber. Susan had asked me, what's something that you didn't expect? And I said, well, we do CrossFit. And she said, what? I said, well, we pick stuff up from one place and move it to another, and then pick it up from there and move it back. Isn't that what you do at CrossFit? I don't know. So we're getting into that season where there's a lot going on in the community, but it's always so exciting. It's great to see people come together. And I think that people are looking for that connection more. I think, post-COVID, people got a little bit comfortable kind of staying in, ordering things online, curbside pickups. But it seems like now people are really wanting to get back to that in-person, face-to-face connection. And so we have a lot of opportunities to do that. And it's good for so many reasons, for personal connections, for professional connections. Even though these are fun events and, festivals and activities and golfing, there's a lot of great networking. There's a lot of ways to promote business through these things. That's why, as a chamber, why we do them. Our goal is still to build, serve, and promote regional business. That's our mission. And so there's a lot of ways to do that. So for our business people, be thinking about how you can use those events to really promote and share the products and services and the business that you have and that you want the community to see.
And then it comes down to just some basic things as well, right? Be friendly to folks when they're in town or when they come through your door. Make sure you have a nice inviting space. There's little things like that. And a lot of times, sometimes you say that and people are like, well, I can't afford to, do that. Well, it's not about that. It's, just sweeping your sidewalk or,
Dust off the cobwebs. Those spiders are out there. They're working hard. And, you hate to destroy all their hard work, but, dust off the cobwebs. Absolutely. We should see if we can find that. We have an article that sometimes we share around springtime, spring cleaning for businesses. Make it inviting. We're gonna see people here that might never have walked past your business before, and you want to make it inviting for them to come in. You want to be clear with your hours, have a nice clean storefront, have nice looking windows that people want to walk in and see what it is. Have signage, and like you said, be friendly. If somebody comes in, even if you're busy, that's one thing, especially with, a different generation of workers. Sometimes that might not be, something that they automatically think of when someone comes in. Even if you can't help them right away, look at them, smile. I'll be right with you. Welcome. Just 1 second. I'll be over there. If you need something, let me know. Those little things can go a long way. And in the reverse, a lot of times you're not going to get a lot of chances. Unfortunately, sometimes people are quick to write off if, it says somewhere that the business is open and it's not. That can happen 1 or 2 times, and then people will start to say, oh, I'm not going to go there because I don't know if they're going to be open, So, be clear with that information. We always say, under promise, over deliver. So, if you know you might have some things coming up with hours. Be clear in that, and don't let people think, something's going to happen if it's not going to. So it's a great time to connect with new customers, new employees, perhaps if you're looking for that. So you want to make sure that you're welcoming and inviting for that to happen.
That's wonderful. And again, if you've got events coming up that might be part of the festival season, or just things coming up down the road, and you need help promoting that, the chamber's always there to help. And a lot of ideas are kicked around to help those businesses.
Absolutely, we've got lots of ideas. I'm the ideas gal. I've got lots of them. They may be a little outside of the box, but sometimes that's what you need, right?
Right. Well, and I think sometimes people, and I know you've had these conversations with businesses that say, hey, I know I need to have a bigger social media presence. I just don't know where to start, or who I can talk to. Again, these are conversations you can, and I know you love talking to businesses. Susan loves talking to businesses, and it's not you guys sitting there saying, oh, this is what we do. Mm-hmm. It's, hey, we want to listen. Tell us about you. Tell us about your business. And then that's where you guys come in and say, boy, yeah, I think we could help you with this. Or maybe we can't, but we know somebody who can.
Connect you with the resources. Absolutely. We have a lot of local businesses that help with that. You can hire to help with that, and it makes a big difference. Or maybe we just have some tips or tricks. I think sometimes people, one of the freebies that I give away, sometimes people say, I post all the time. I'm on social media. I'm, updating our page all the time. Well, if I don't follow your page, then that doesn't mean anything. If you're not sharing it anywhere else, then I might not see it. The Facebook algorithms, like, it's a mystery, right? How does it work? I don't know. But, getting people to like and share so that their friends see things, sharing on community groups might get you some new views. You have to kind of go outside of the business. Sometimes, when you're a business owner, that's all you do, right? I laugh sometimes, not in a mean way, but when, I'm talking with students and they say, oh, I want to own my own business someday. I want to be my own boss. I want to set my own hours. And I say, oh, you want to work all the hours? Because that's what you do as a small business owner. You work you're always working, right? You don't have a lot of free time. You eat, sleep, and breathe that business. And so sometimes it's hard to read the label from inside the jar, right? So, you think like, I'm doing this all the time. Why aren't other people seeing that work? But you got to get outside of those same avenues that you're in to reach different audiences. And it's hard to get people's attention these days. There's a lot of distractions. So you have to be creative. You have to diversify the ways that you are advertising or communicating. Sometimes word of mouth can be the best way, but you got to get people talking about it and give them a reason to. So there's things that you can do to do that. But even if you're like always updating your own page, that might not get to new people if they're not already following you. So there's a lot of things that people can do to kind of help spread the word. But sometimes it helps just to talk it out with someone else. And like you said, we're here to listen, and we want to be helpful to our local businesses and really see them succeed. So if we can share anything with how we do things, or how we've seen other people do things, or connect businesses to resources, we want to do that. We're connectors.
That's great. Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Kat Thompson with us here this morning from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. I know it's an exciting it's a busy time. There's a lot of things to plan for, and to make sure everything's in place, because you guys set the bar extremely high. That obviously people are talking about festival season year round, and what a great time and how important it is for community spirit and welcoming people in, as we've been talking about. So if there is something that you want to get involved with, whether it's part of the festival season or maybe volunteering, they can contact the chamber for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we try to put together a package, because there's so many ways to get involved. From if you want to donate a raffle basket, we know businesses get asked a lot, but it is a way to get your name out there. We share, everybody's looking at those baskets. We put the business's name on those. We do them, the live stream when we pick the winners. You can be in the parade. That's free to be in the parade, and we have a lot of eyeballs on that parade. There's children's fun fair if you want to do a free activity for kids and you can connect with children and family. There's so many different ways that people might not think about. They might think, oh, you're just asking for money for sponsorship. Yes, we are doing that as well, which, we get your name out there, but there's a lot of other ways to participate and be involved in things. Golf outing, we have a trade show. If you want to set up a vendor table, you can do that to connect with other vendors, golfers that come, and the public is welcome to come to that trade show as well to see some of the businesses. So sometimes there's different ways to get involved that you might not be aware of. So people can absolutely reach out to us with those questions. Keep an eye on our newsletter. We try to share that information there, but you can always reach out to us. Our phone number is 814-676-8521. You can find us at chamber at venangochamber.org is our email, or go on our website, venangochamber.org. There's lots of ways to get it. Just Google Venango Chamber, you'll find us. There aren't any other Venango chambers anywhere in the world. So you can always reach out with those questions.
And I always feel too, and I know we've talked about this, where you say, how crazy, this time of year is, and almost, year round, it's just always busy, but never busy enough where you have to tell somebody, we don't have time to sit and talk to you. You'll always make time to meet with chamber members.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why we do what we do, is for our members. And so, whether it's grabbing a cup of coffee, and, Susan, she'll answer her phone at 10 o'clock at night, if, and I probably would too, if it was, real important. But, if people want to schedule with us, somebody, is going to be available. We might have to get a little creative some days on what time. We probably won't be able to meet with somebody, on the Saturday of festival, but yeah, we'll make time to meet with people, whether it's we come to you, grab a cup of coffee. We like to go out and see our businesses. For me, we have over 465 members. I haven't been out to all of them yet, so I love to see what our members are doing. So whether we meet you in your business, if you want to come here and see our new office, the elevator's working now. We've got some great meeting space here, or if you want to meet and grab a cup of coffee at one of our great local coffee shops, we want to make time for our members.
So I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but for you, what are some highlights that people should maybe check out this summer? What are some things you enjoy doing here in the region?
Well, for me, I'm my first thought is Oil Creek State Park. I love the trails, Girard Trail. We have an incredible treasure there. It's free to go walk around, and it's beautiful, and it's hard to find that. I was going up to Erie with a friend, and we were like, oh, let's go for a hike. Let's go find a trail. And it's hard to find anything comparable to Oil Creek, and that's right in our backyard, and it is a gem. So there's lots of events going on there. I was just at the Makerspace had a biking event to kind of talk about the opportunities there. So anything outdoors in nature. And then of course for me, I'm a people person, social butterfly. I love any of the community events where people are coming together, where there's people walking around. This Friday, Oil City's having a First Friday where some of the area businesses are getting together. They're shutting down the street. There's going to be artists and things like that. So just getting to see the community come together and celebrate together, and anything where there's positivity, right? There's so much negativity, especially if you're on Facebook, and people that might not be connected and know what's going on. So the more that we can come together and have those celebrations, and hopefully that'll kind of spill out to those, complainers, and they'll see that there are great things happening here. Anything like that is something that I'm excited about, no matter where it is in the region. So those are just a couple things. I'm sure I could give you a whole long list, but those are just a couple things that come to mind.
And the other great thing about Oil Creek is no shark attacks in the last, ever.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident there have been no shark attacks. Yeah, no, there are bobcats out there, but I don't think there are any bobcat attacks either.
Yeah,
so
that's good. The trip to Italy, which is coming up in the fall.
Oh my goodness!
If somebody is just hearing about it, or something opened up in their schedule, is that full? Is there time if somebody wanted to sign up?
No, there is still time to sign up. We did have a deadline on that because we needed the numbers to really start to block off. The travel company blocks off the hotels and the the airline and things like that, but we can still fit people in if they're interested in going. We actually just had another couple reach out yesterday. That sounds like they're pretty serious on going. So we're up to, with the Venango Chamber, I want to say if those two register, that would be 34.
Wow.
I think Meadville has over 20. So we'll be going with our neighbors to the north as well. And so, yeah, there's still time. If anyone is interested in traveling to Italy, we're going October 18th through the 26th this year. It's, just under $4,000 for that. It's a great value, and you'll be traveling with us, with your neighbors, and seeing we're going everywhere, Rome and Florence, and I'm looking at Venice and Milan, like all kinds of places. So it's stress-free travel. They have the itinerary planned out. We have the evenings free to go eat all the pizza that we can, which is my goal in life. So it's going to be a great trip. So yeah, absolutely reach out if you're interested in that.
Kat, great catching up with you. All the best.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks. Take care. That's Kat Thompson joining us here this morning from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce.